I just dropped a monster shit, and that's about the funniest thing that's happened recently. And I don't know if that counts as a cold open. Hello, and welcome to Fools in Fiction. This time on the podcast, I finally got Finn to finish the new season of My Hero Academia, which
I did a big binge over the last
when,
3 days.
when did that end? Out of curiosity, how late are you?
The binge stopped at I think I texted Avis. No, I didn't. I don't know when it stopped. 2:00. So 1 hour ago.
Really? Good God.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's really funny because I was like really looking forward to this episode when like the season ended, and I kept up with the manga, and like everything that happened in the season, just like the manga has been going at light speed. So it's going to be interesting to come back to like where you are and see everything.
Whereas, like, for me, this feels totally new.
Yeah.
So,
right.
how do we want to structure
So
this? I've got a number of things I want to talk about.
Okay. I think we should like give a brief recap of what happened, and
Sure.
then I think you can go down your list.
Okay.
So as far as I remember, this was just two main arcs. Well, two and a half, because you have the beginning is the overhaul arc, and then you have the school festival arc, and then the hero billboards chart is kind of like half an arc. And it doesn't actually it's not finished in the anime. Like the anime still has a couple of episodes before you get to like the end, in air quotes, of that arc. But I think it was at a good stopping point. So that's all I remember.
Yeah, so something I think
would
is
you
really...
like to fill in any holes?
I don't know what you said, but if you said, do you want to say the things you're going to say, I will do it. Something I think is really, really cool about this arc, something I think is really fantastic about it, or sorry, this season, not this arc, is the way that just by being a single season, it associates these arcs that would otherwise seem to not be associated, namely the overhaul arc and the festival arc. And I was thinking, like, these are seemingly completely different. The tone is totally different. We got a different opening, mostly different characters. Why are they in the same season besides just like the way that shows work? And I realized that I think both of these, I think like one reading of both of these arcs in the same season 4, is they are both, it's all this, the one narrative of, what is her name? The little girl? Eri. I think this whole season, like the entire season, besides the last like 2 episodes with the hero billboard, is about saving Eri. And I think that the overhaul arc was just the first part of that. Because I think what they're doing here in season 4 is a very similar thing to what they did in the Two Heroes movie, where they showed two contrasting sides of being a hero, or of heroicness in general. Whereas in like Two Heroes, they showed the very like the face of heroes and saving people and doing all these like big powerful things, and also the people who support them. But in this season, they showed that same first thing, like actually getting the heroics done, infiltrating the base, whatever, saving the person in danger, like saving them, their physical self, getting them away from the bad guys. But then also by having a whole half of the season dedicated to the second bit, I think it's saying that another part of heroics is this kind of not spiritual is not the word I'm looking for. Mental shoot, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess spiritual is probably the word I'm looking for, but not spiritual as in like religious, spiritual as in people's spirits. This kind of spiritual heroics of, like, Deku had a line where he said, "Oh my God, Eri isn't like, we've just started to save her," because he realized that she doesn't like that she still doesn't have the ability to smile, and so they're like, "Oh my God, we need to do more." And the festival arc kind of was that whole second half of saving Eri. And so I think that what that does is it kind of gives validity to this whole the way that heroes operate that I think it hasn't really done that the show hasn't really done so far. Like, I feel like the kind of mentality of the show has mostly been kind of this: you defeat the bad guys, you punch them, you save the day. And even though there is this whole aspect of needing an icon, a symbol of peace, and they've been talking about mental health in the show for a while, but I think this having a whole half of a season and half of one big continuous arc devoted to that part of heroism was really cool and something we really needed, as well as something Joe brought up in terms of pacing, giving us a break from high stakes stuff.
I thought, so kind of building off of that, there's a really good, well, so first of all, I forgot to mention that there's the remedial exam thing that happens in between the overhaul arc and the school festival,
yeah.
which also talks about how heroes have to like be social creatures, not just like, you know, brawn and whatever. But I think a really good example of showing this is at the very end when Endeavor kind of like puts aside being a dick and like tries to do a good thing.
So it
With
still fits in with the
fighting the High Register. Yeah, and
so I'm
so
reading it.
a really interesting thing is like you can kind of separate the manga as a whole, and because of this, the show into like three separate parts, 3 or 4. So the first part, which really like stops as soon as All Might loses his power, is building up Deku to be a hero. And then the second part, which is between like now, or between that and like the end of the season, I think, like what little we have left of the billboards arc is building up like the next generation, and showing how the world deals without All Might in a heroic sense. And then the third part, which is what we're going to get into, has to do more with the villains and like kind of reminding us that they're there, but also like really fleshing out a lot of them.
Oh my
and
God.
You see a bit of this.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about how much I enjoyed the villains in this arc.
So here, I don't like Overhaul, but he's constructed not to be likable, so I think it works.
Yeah.
But Gentle and La Brava are so good. Oh my God.
Absolutely love them. So when I first met La Brava, I was like, oh, she is totally just posing as this character in order to screw over Gentle. And then you see her backstory and you're like, oh my God, no, she's actually just like, she's just a person. She's just a good person. And so is Gentle. And they're just like trying to do the best that they can, which is being villains. And so it kind of puts villainy in this whole new light, which is probably controversial.
So what I think is really interesting is that they haven't really been able to capture the kind of moral ambiguity of Gentle since then, or like before. So you had so your first exposure to villains was the League of Villains, and they're just like assholes.
Yeah.
They don't have like a good purpose, and Shigaraki kind of like they try to give him one, and it's up in the air even now in the manga, like whether or not it's good. But moving past them, then you have Stain, who like the core of his ideology is not bad, but like he just fucking sucks at executing it. And then you have Gentle, who's like he wants to not only do good things, but he does not do anything that I would like object to.
I think he's a
Where
totally
like
moral
Stain
villain.
like Stain kills people, and I can't support that. But Gentle's just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking rob Amazon,
Yeah.
just to flex, and then
But the
drink
thing is,
tea. And I'm like,
the thing is,
God,
it's
what
not
a
like
hero!
he's kind of like his goal is like that. But the thing is, because he has so few views on YouTube.com, he doesn't end up making that much of a change, at least where I am. So it's like there's this whole social media aspect to it too that was really really surprising, but really added to his character.
I
But yeah,
think
I don't know
the
how
best
effective
part
he
of
is as
that.
a villain.
I think the best part of that is that he doesn't even really try to critique the hero society, like Overhaul or Stain or anyone does, but he does the best criticism of it because he's basically being like, "Hey, y'all aren't doing like good things outside of being show-offy."
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do those good things, but hero society is such that if you don't have like a large enough public to do these things to, it doesn't matter. Which is really interesting because it means that like the heroic society is predicated on having fans. Like it doesn't matter that these people are certified as heroes. If no one likes them, then it doesn't matter.
And that's kind of what we're getting into at the beginning of the Billboard arc as well.
Yeah, which is really good because it. So there's one you've met her. You've met Mirako because she shows up in the Billboard arc. She gets a lot more screen time, and she's like the only hero now that is not like doing one of those things where they're like beneficent because they have to. Like she's just like, I want to beat the shit out of this person for myself, and it's really interesting that she's the outlier and not like Endeavor or anyone. Oh
I
God,
can't tell if
have I disconnected?
no,
Oh, hold on.
I just couldn't tell. I couldn't hear what you were saying for the last minute or so. But I was just being quiet because I think the audio
excellent.
probably still could.
Okay, that makes sense. I apologize if there's
So-
like dead air when this gets shipped out.
Usually it's only when it's coming through to me. So I try and hear as much as I can of what you're saying, and then hope that the audience can hear all of it, which is usually the case. But from what I heard, you were saying there was a female villain who's introduced in the Billboard arc, and that was all I heard.
Yeah, it's Miruko. I don't know. It's the rabbit one, and yeah. So she's really interesting because
I
as
remember her. Yeah.
Endeavor gets like reduced from being like a giant asshole to someone that's trying to like do heroic stuff for its own sake. She and Hawks are both kind of introduced to pick up that, where they seem to have really selfish reasons for doing what they're doing. And Hawks gets like a lot of development. First of all, I love Hawks. He's the best. I love him.
I think he's got the coolest quirk of
like,
anyone. Like, maybe for sure.
Yeah, it's almost definitively one of the coolest things we've seen. And I really just appreciate how nonchalant he is too.
Sorry, how what he is?
But nonchalant.
Yeah.
Where he's just walking around and like stopping crime just casually.
He's definitely got a lot of style.
Yeah. He's really important for the next couple of arcs too, so I'm happy that we get to see more of him. But I just think that like this season does such a good job of raising this show from like a battle shonen with hypothetical moral like ideas to a show that does a lot of like what is right and like how should we go about doing stuff.
Yeah, totally. Sorry, go ahead.
I also want to say the animation for this arc is like fucking superb. Or for this season.
Sorry,
like the fight with Overhaul. Oh, the animation.
Oh yeah.
The fight with Overhaul looks so goddamn good.
The moment that that Eri jumped off the platform and Deku was going to catch her, and we heard a vocal version of the like main battle theme from the show, absolutely stunned me.
That blew my mind.
And the animation there was another thing that stood out to me. It was just like one of those wonderful moments of television.
I also I really this is one of the things that I liked when I was first reading it is I liked that this season also gave us more tangible consequences. So like they've been slowly building up with it where like Deku gets these big ass scars and then finally All Might loses his power. But Night Eye fucking dies and Mirio loses his quirk.
Yeah. Oh man, that was heartbreaking. Seeing Mirio sad. Oh.
It fucking hurt my bones.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else was really good. Oh, I really liked the concert. The music for that was stellar.
The music for what? Sorry to keep on asking, but I can barely hear you. Yeah, the concert is the next thing I want to talk about for sure.
Okay, talk about.
What's her name? The character I'm professing to have grown to like a whole lot. Headphone check.
Jiro?
Jiro. Yeah,
Kyoka? Which...
Yeah. When I was also watching this this arc and I got my theory of these two seemingly disparate arcs are actually the same arc about saving Eri. I made a connection selfishly, maybe, or maybe I'm reading into this too much, to the things that I want to pursue in my own life. Not that I want to be a superhero, definitely not. But when I was in college trying to figure out what I wanted to major in, for instance, I couldn't like decide between physics and music. And sorry, yeah, I saw a text. And now that I am getting a degree in both, there's kind of the question of how do you phrase that? Like, if you're trying to do the most good in the world, how can you justify splitting your time between something that seems objectively worthwhile and something that just seems like something fun to do? And there was a flashback in this in this season, where Jiro was talking to her mom, and she was like, I really like music, but I also like want to help people and I want to be a hero. I'm so sorry, but I think I'm going to stop doing music so I can be a hero. And her mom was like, listen, your quirk, the way you're going to be a hero is sound related. So maybe you can work music into that. And maybe you can somehow be a hero through music. And the way that she realized that wasn't totally defined until the concert, when she it was this very direct instance of, we need to bring up the spirits of everyone, and it was Jiro doing that through her music. Like, that was how she was being a hero. And it was just like a little personally self-affirming thing of that musicians are important and are also doing good work, that I personally really enjoyed from this season.
Yeah, I really like that this season we've fleshed out some more motivations for why people are a hero. Because at the very beginning, it's just like Deku wants to be a hero for its own sake. And then we get more where like Uraraka wants to have money for her parents. And hold on. Oh, it's time for the session burp where I get stopped from speaking. Hold on. Oh, pardon me. I mostly covered it, thank God. Hold on. What is my computer? You need to restart your computer. Restart later. I was really worried that my computer would just like explode.
Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties on this one, folks.
Yeah, it's just the way it goes.
Yep.
But Ida wants to be a hero because his brother is a hero, and he wants to like carry on this legacy. And so seeing Jiro want to be a hero in like her own unique way of doing it, and seeing Kirishima get a lot of characterization too,
I love
was like
that.
really good.
I love that. Also, we got to learn a little bit more about Aoyama, which is really nice. Like, I really enjoy his character now that we've kind of seen how he operates a little more, and this very like astute connection he made between himself and Deku and the way that their quirks work.
So before we got that, he was one of two characters in Class 1A that I didn't like. The other being, of course, Mineta.
Right.
Because I just thought he was like arrogant, and I didn't like him. And then he confides in Midoriya this stuff, and he like tries to be nice. So it's really interesting seeing that like it's a facade. And how he really thinks and feels.
I think that's
and that he has his struggles too. Is like, well, yeah, but like it's not like totally authentic. Like he's not that self righteous or congratulatory or whatever the word I want is. Like he doesn't
vibe of him.
Yeah, like he puts off this vibe that like he believes in himself so much. And I was like, the reason I didn't like him at first is because I thought he bought into it. And now seeing this, I'm like, oh, it's just like the way he is, which made him better.
Having heirs being different than their like, than their like actual goals. We got a lot more subtle development of Bakugo this season that I really enjoyed. I'm starting to like his character a lot more now. I think he said it to one of the kids.
So no, go ahead.
One of the kids in that mini arc between the two arcs, he said like to the leader who wanted to be better than everyone else, he said, don't shoot. Have I forgotten what he said? Oh man, I'm sorry. I forget.
How dare you?
Do you remember what he said? He said something that like applied to himself in a really insightful way that I did not. It was like a lesson I expected him to learn in 5 years or something, but he said it with such confidence. It was like don't be judging all the flaws of everyone else because you're going to miss the ones of yourself or something like that.
I have it.
You got it. Thank you.
If all you ever do is look down on people, you won't be able to recognize your own weaknesses.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck, Bakugo? That's smart as shit. We thought you were dumb.
So,
but
one of the big things in this show regarding Bakugo is realizing that he's actually very, very intelligent. He's also just like drinking from the himbo juice on occasion.
Yeah.
So I want to see more Bakugo development because right now he's gotten a little bit more, but it feels like it's stalled. So like my big problem with him is that he hasn't had like a defining moment with Deku in a while, because he had that fight a couple seasons ago where Deku learned to use like 8% of his power and then All Might stopped them. That he really grew. So I want to see them like come to terms with the fact that Bakugo was a bully. Because as a person who has been in those situations, like, please, he needs to realize that. And Deku needs to be comfortable saying that he was, for like closure purposes. But other than that, I'm fine with him because he's like showing that he isn't just all explosions and die.
Yeah, he's starting to at least like
he got really good character development in 2 Heroes, and I'm so pissed that it's not canon.
Wait, is 2 Heroes not canon?
It's like dubiously canon. I don't know if it's strictly canon or not, but it's not like very explicitly non-canon. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to put on our
first
Death of the Author. I was gonna say, I was trying to think of a word for like lenses, but the only thing I could come up with earmuffs.
Craig said he failed to join, but Gyark is still fine.
Yeah. Once again, sorry for all the technical stuff.
Oh, also, I just want to give context for the space in which this episode of the podcast is taking. I graduate tomorrow, and Finn kind of does, kind of doesn't.
I do not. I have another year.
Well, Finn graduates in the sense that it's been 4 years, but like I graduate in the sense that I am literally not an undergrad anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on, let me do some quick math. 19 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit frazzled. I have to say, this semester has been whack. Because of obvious reasons, but still, like, the classes I took were also pretty funky, so it's just been very odd.
I couldn't hear you.
Do we have anything else to say? God damn it! All right.
Oh man, if only there were some. Listeners, if you know a better application to record remotely than Discord, for situations that don't have great internet, please let us know. It will help the podcast immensely. Also, if you can make
alternatively, so
if you have
the really big thing, the really big thing that is going to help/would help is when the Goochland Library is open to the public. I can then go there and use their free Wi-Fi, hopefully.
That might be the changing factor.
Yeah, because originally they set up Wi-Fi at the firehouse that's close to my home, so I'll go there on occasion to like download stuff. But it's like high school Wi-Fi where you can't use certain things, and one of those things is Discord, so I can't record on it. So it's very frustrating. I thought we were like fixed, and then it was wrong.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right.
I don't know what else we should talk about with this season. I really enjoyed it. It's my favorite season so far. I thought both of the intros were incredible. The second one, especially the second outro, the second OD. That's not it. That's overdose. ED is pretty. Definitely, I think my favorite ED. I want to figure out what it is so I can download it and listen to it.
I don't know if it's my favorite of the series, but it's really good.
I'm very happy that I am getting back into My Hero because it had been a while since I'd seen it, and I'd kind of, when you're not like in a headspace for a while, you can kind of forget why you enjoyed being in that headspace. But it's come back to me, and I thank you, Joe, for encouraging me to get back into this because it's some really good stuff.
Oh, definitely. I now have to threaten Finn with watching JoJo's. Do it.
Indeed. I also have to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender because that just came out on Netflix.
Oh my god, that did happen today. Holy shit.
Yeah. Which one should
my god.
What should I watch first?
I think you should watch JoJo's because that's more fresh on my mind, and then we can both binge Avatar and do something. Because Avatar, like the last time I watched it fully was probably right before college. So as much as I remember loving that show as a kid, it would be very nice to get a refresher.
Sure. So yeah, I will watch JoJo's next. I am just about finished watching Mushishi as well. I have one more episode and then the movie. I keep on having one more episode.
Interesting.
Like it's been 3 times now that I thought I was done with the episodes, and then I look it up and there's another episode, which is surprising. I don't know how it keeps on escaping me. But yeah, I have one more episode and then I have the movie and then I'll be done with Mushishi. I don't know what relevance that had to anything. Just thinking about anime.
No. I will once we get done with Avatar, we will hopefully do a couple of non show based discussions and mix it up. But I will also, depending on when a series ends, I might get you to watch it because I have a lot to talk about how it does world building.
Sorry, what show?
It's called Tower of God.
So, I could not hear what you had said. You can
hold on.
You can
it's called Tower of God. That's also true. All right. Well, we should end while my computer still functions. So leave us a iTunes review. The subreddit is r/foolsandfiction. Email us at foolsandfiction@gmail.com. Listen to other podcasts on the William and Mary Network at Spreaker.com/user/PNWM. I think that's all right. If not, Finn will correct me in the comments.
Yeah,
or
I
the
think that's
description.
It. Also,
all right.
One moment of self-promotion.
Ooh.
By the time this podcast goes up, or maybe like a day or two later, so most likely when you're listening to this, all my music will be on Spotify and Apple Music and iTunes. So listen to it to give me money and to enjoy your senses. That's my.
I'll allow it. All right.
Thanks.
I swear to God, I'm gonna start the tradition back up of me doing the cocktails, but the recipes are at the dorm, and I go Monday to pick them up. So
I
next
can also start
episode, I will do it.
thing. Again,
Oh, good God, that's going to be even more.
I think I'm kind of starting
the
to get
confusion with me cutting out
working from home thing.
Yeah. Hold on, let me do some mental math. Next episode might have better audio quality. I don't know when the library is going to be open, but next week, 2 weeks from today seems about right. So, I must end you all in the traditional way. Bye. Please, for the love of God, turn the podcast off.